Hello and welcome to this week's episode of For the Love of Chiropractic. On this week's episode, we begin with our interviews of successful chiropractors sharing their 3 keys of success. Why are we doing this? To help you to become more successful, hear what others have done, and that way you can have the practice of your dreams also. And speaking of helping people, if you're enjoying the podcast, I'm going to ask you to do 2 things. Number 1, go to the show link, which is right on your mobile device, usually in the upper right-hand corner, and copy the show link and share that with 1 or 2 other chiropractors, or as many as you want, that you think could get some value from the show as well. For the Love of Chiropractic is all about helping more people to be as healthy and successful as possible. And if you're new to the show, I say welcome to the family. We're now in 5 continents, in 20 countries, over 400 cities, and I'm glad you're here and decided to spend some time with us. Hello and welcome to Secrets of My Success, part of For the Love of Chiropractic podcast series. On each episode, I'll be interviewing one highly successful doctor or business person, asking them what are their 3 keys of success or secrets they've used to make themselves so highly successful. So let's get started with today's show. So I have on the phone with me this morning one of my long and good time friends. I have with me Dr. Trond Seland, who practices in the middle part of the United States, actually in the state of Indiana, and we're going to be asking him about his secrets of success. Trond, are you there?
I'm here, Dr. Freeman. Good morning.
And good morning to you. So as we get started, I know this is not your normal personality, but I have to ask you to brag and flaunt a little bit because I want everybody to understand the type of outstanding practice that you do have. So tell me a little bit about the practice.
So I'm the founder and CEO at Seland Chiropractic Living Well Center in Fishers, Indiana. We just celebrated our 30th anniversary last October of 2024. So now we're starting the next 30 years here in 2025. The practice has seen over 20,000 patients in that time frame. We have won multiple awards for Clinic of the Year, Doctor of the Year, and it is an honor and a privilege to be a part of such a movement as chiropractic to make a huge difference in the world. And it is great to be on the phone with you this morning, Robert.
Now, that's very, very cool. So now with 20,000 patients, I assume you're not the only doctor there.
No, I am not the only doctor. We currently have 4 doctors in the practice. So we have 2 senior doctors and 2 younger doctors. And so the 2 senior doctors, we went to school together. Dr. Philip Hallett and I graduated from Palmer in October of 1994. So we were classmates and we had this dream of working together. And he introduced me to Indiana. I'm from Long Island. I never thought I'd be out here in Indiana, but I grew up in a family where we built custom homes. And as a chiropractor, I like to remodel people and I use x-rays like blueprints. And Dr. Hallett brought me out here, and back in 94, Indianapolis was the 2nd fastest growing place in the country next to Vegas. And when I saw all the construction going on, I thought, this is a great place to start a practice. There weren't many chiropractors. And we've found the right place at the right time. And we have been very blessed to help a lot of people over the years.
Okay, so that's awesome. So I got to ask a question that I usually wait until the end to ask. So you're saying you're at the right place at the right time. Is it possible for a young doctor today to become wildly successful as you have been?
Of course. Yeah, I think that anyone could do what I did, but you have to have the right attitude. And a big part of it, the big part of my success has been the people that I have surrounded myself with. And I've been blessed to have amazing coaches over the years who taught me a lot of the principles of success. And not just as a chiropractor, but as a communicator, and how to build rapport and relationships with your patients to make them the star of the show. You know, we grow up and it's like we go through chiropractic school and we think it's all about us. It's not about us. It's about them. And good coaching will mold you from being the graduate who just took all these national boards to an awesome chiropractor who loves his patients. And when you pour into the patients, your practice will grow and thrive.
So it sounds to me like you're starting to lay out what the main question of the interview, which is, if I were going to ask you what your 3 keys or 3 secrets of success are, what are they? Let's take them one at a time and really dig in.
Well, I truly believe, like I just said, the first one is coaching. Everybody needs a coach. You cannot do this on your own. You will struggle and have a really hard time until you find someone who's 10 to 20 years ahead of you, who's already experienced the challenges, and they can mentor you. And then if you will humble yourself and open your ears and open your heart to what experience can teach you, you will grow much faster in your practice and avoid a lot of the heartaches and struggles that the young doctors typically have. I started when I graduated, did not have any coaches for the first 2 years, and I was blessed to be introduced to Dr. C.J. Mertz with the waiting list practice many years. And for 10 years, he was my coach. And the practice grew exponentially with his guidance. And then after Dr. Mertz, I was introduced to Dr. Rick Markson and his dad, Dr. Larry Markson, and worked with them for 3 or 4 years. That took the practice to another level. And in that time frame was when you and I met. And I've been blessed to know you for at least the last 10, 15 years now. So coaching is the number one thing. The second thing is your most powerful technique and your most powerful thing as a healer is love. You have to love your patients. If you don't love your patients, then what are you doing this for? If you're here to be a chiropractor because you think this is a great way to make money, you can make money, but there's easier ways than this if that's what you're after. But money is a byproduct. It's the symptom of what you're doing, loving your patients unconditionally. And when you do that, I think it was Zig Ziglar says, if you will help as many people get what they need, they will give you everything that you want. Or maybe it's the other way. But it's all about others first. And I think the third thing is remembering this other phrase that I think Dr. Parker used to teach on with the Parker Success Principles. If it's going to be, it's up to me. There's no one coming to rescue me. There is no rescue mat underneath. This practice is going to grow and thrive, or it's going to fail because of me. I am the epicenter of this thing, and my mindset and my actions into this practice are going to help this thing grow and thrive, or it's going to struggle. But blaming somebody else for lack of success is never going to help you grow. You have to take responsibility. So for me, it's always been, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm leading from the front.
You know, it's funny that you say these things, and I absolutely love everything you've just said, and I couldn't agree with you more. When you talk about, getting and having a coach and a mentor, when I was a young doc coming up, I don't know if someone said it to me or just somehow popped into my subconscious. It was probably said to me by an early coach that I had. Why do you want to reinvent the wheel? Business is expensive. Don't waste time or money figuring it out. Simply learn what has worked and do that. Because if you do the same thing the same way, you'll get the same result. So the only shortcut to success that I've ever found is learning from someone who's a rung or two above you on the ladder, so to speak. They've climbed it, and typically successful docs, and I know like you, are happy to reach down and help the person up to the next rung. That's just part of the rules of success.
Yep. Yeah, there are universal principles that are always at work around us, whether you see them or not. But givers gain. Those who help others help themselves the most when you're helping others first. And having someone above you that is helping create lift in your life will help you rise to your highest level of performance. And while you are benefiting from that mentor and coach, you should be looking for someone who's 5 to 10 years younger than you and pouring some blessing into their life. And so when you are receiving from others and then you are reaching back and blessing others, it creates this magical flow of life and healing and prosperity and blessings in all of us.
So I couldn't agree with you more. The second thing that you mentioned, and you said it in two different ways, so I really want to hone in on that a little bit. You said the number two thing is love. You have to love your patients, and then you wanted to say, of course, we do it for love, not for the money. And the first time that you had said it, you had said that the second thing is communicating with the patients. So talk to me a little bit, because you are a master communicator, about how you communicate with patients, on a regular patient visit, and then also in a reported findings. Let's talk about a regular patient visit first.
Okay. I like to do either a 2-day or a 3-day report of findings, or a new patient experience is really what it is. If I have someone who's never been to the chiropractor before, it's a little bit like dating. You're getting to know each other. Do I trust you? Do I understand you? You have to earn the patient's trust. And you've got one chance on that first day to earn their trust. And what do they say? You only have one chance to make a first good impression. So when I graduated, most people saw one chiropractor in their lifetime. And if you screwed it up, that was the impression they were going to carry with them. So I was always very keen on the first visit to try to connect with the patient where they are and introduce myself, try to make it a warm greeting, and then bring them back to my office and make sure that they were comfortable, and then ask them, what is it that's going on? I ask questions, and then I listen a lot. And they share what's going on, why they're here. And then after they have expressed their concerns and what brought them here, and I'm writing and I'm listening and I'm close to the patient, then I ask, is it okay if I share with you what it is that I do? And they say, yeah. And then I share with them how I got into chiropractic and why I love chiropractic and what it is that we do in this practice. And now the communication starts to flow. The other thing for me personally, in my values, my faith, my family, and then how things function are my top 3 values. Then it's fun, and then freedom are the next 2 after that. But in my faith in who I am, I'm a very spiritual person. And I believe that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And I can tell you that the soul of the person creates ripples that affects the body inside of them. So if you don't see those 2 aspects of a person, you're going to miss who they are. But your patients, each one of them, is a one-of-a-kind, God-created miracle with gifts and talents and abilities that only that person has. And if they are subluxated, they are not ever going to be able to fully express the gifts that God created in them. And you have this opportunity as a chiropractor to unlock those gifts and to release not just the healing in the person, but their purpose in this world, using your words and your hands with that experience. So in my first 3 days, I want to get to know them as a person, and I want them to get to know a bit of me and what I resonate with. And on the first day, it's asking a lot of questions. And then when I feel like they're ready, then I explain what I want to do next. And I do the exam, posture, palpation, really touching and acknowledging this is where it hurts. And then some orthoneuros to make sure that I'm seeing the big picture. And then I usually take x-rays on them. My background was in construction and architecture. So to me, the framework inside of them needs to have a blueprint to understand what's going on. So I take the x-rays and I tell them on the next visit, I'm going to show them what's normal and what they've got going on. And after we take the x-rays, I usually will have them do either some hydromassage or something just to relax them. I don't like to adjust on the first visit. If they're really acute, maybe I'll toggle them just to kind of reset their autonomics a little bit, get them out of the fight or flight thing, but very little. But I want them to have something that makes them feel that they were acknowledged and the wheel has started turning and they feel like they're at the right place. And then I pre-frame them to tell them on the next visit, we're going to review your x-rays. I'm going to share with you what's going on. I'm going to make sure you understand what's going on with you. And on that visit, you'll get your first adjustment. And it'll be a great experience on that first visit. And I tell them, I don't like surprises, so I don't want any surprises for you. So I will answer any of your questions, and I will make sure that you understand to your comfort level what's going on with you. And then I will create a plan, like a blueprint, for what's possible to take you to the level of health that you are seeking, what you're looking for. And I'm constantly getting agreements with them. Do you understand? Yes, I do. Do you have any questions on this? No, I don't. You ready for the next thing? Yes, I am. So I'm with the patient as opposed to what I unfortunately have seen a lot in the past where I'm the doctor, you're the patient. You do what I tell you to do, lay down, shut up, and I'm going to adjust you. That doesn't work. That's a fast track to nowhere. But if you build the relationships, they will respect you, and over time, that respect will grow to appreciation, and eventually they become your raving fans. They become ambassadors for your practice, and they share with their friends and family how wonderful your clinic is. And I can tell you, Dr. Freeman, for, I don't know, first 20, 25 years, I hardly advertised at all. My practice grew solely from internal referrals because I loved my patients and I made them first.
Amazing. That is absolutely beautiful. I am thrilled that we've gotten all this down. So I have to ask a couple more questions.
Sure.
So if somebody is not a master communicator the way you obviously are, how would you tell someone to improve their communication? How could someone do that?
One of the first things is to understand that human beings are hardwired for stories. They are automatically taken in by stories, and they also respond really well to analogies. So I tell a lot of stories that chiropractic is like this. You know, working as a chiropractor on people is a lot like being a mechanic on a car, and I understand all the systems and all the parts on how a car should run. And I love BMWs and I love Formula One racing. So sometimes I tell them that when you come in to get adjusted, it's like a Formula One pit stop. It's going to be efficient, it's going to be to the point, and it's going to be precise, but you're not going to be here for 20 minutes for an adjustment. It's going to be me and my team are going to come together, give you exactly what you need, make sure that you are telling me exactly where you are, and then we're going to set you back out again, and you're going to do laps, and then we're going to pitch you periodically to check and see how you're doing. So stories like that, depending on what it is that your passion is as a person. So I like cars, I like racing, I like sailing, and I let patients know what my interests are because they like to get to know you. And a lot of doctors never talk about themselves. They just talk about pain and suffering and symptoms and medication or treatment. And you don't want to be like a medical office. You want to be a healing center that inspires and transforms your patients. So stories are great. Anyone can tell a story. Get good as a storyteller that parlays in with your chiropractic message. And the second thing is analogies. People like analogies, and chiropractic is full of weird words and foreign concepts. Your patients don't want to become chiropractors. They want to become healthier. And I see a lot of young doctors who graduate, and they want to pour all their chiropractic philosophy and understanding of why they are adjusting a certain way. Patients don't really want to know that. They don't care what you know. They want to know that you care, and then it flows from there. So I use a lot of stories, analogies. I shared with you, Dr. Freeman, about the glow stick analogy, that one of the major fears that a patient has is the misunderstandings of what they've heard from other people, that go to a chiropractor is going to crack your neck, crack your spine, twist you, pop you, make you, and somehow that's supposed to make me feel better. And there's a bit of fear in that. And I learned a long time ago that if you use good analogies, it helps to reduce the fear. My favorite thing is I learned to take these, they're like lime green glow sticks. And after I've done my report of findings, shown them the spine, shown them the x-rays, you like to think that they know what's going on. They still are just starting to take it in. I take out a glow stick and I hold this up and I said, do you know what this is? And they're like, yeah, it's a glow stick. And I said, correct. I said, what is it created to do? What is its purpose? And they tell me it's to glow. I said, correct. What do you have to do to make a glow stick glow? And then they said the magic words, you have to crack it. You have to pop it. You have to snap it. I said, right. And what happens when you do that? And they're like, it glows. And so then I hold up the glow stick and I say, now imagine if this is your spine. And I have the spine, the real, like a model of a spine next to me. And then I got this glow stick. I will put my hands on your spine and I can feel where there's restriction of motion and lack of fluid motion, where you are subluxated. And I tell them the word subluxation on one level, you can say it literally means a condition of less light. Sub means less, ation's a condition of, and lux is Latin for life, light, energy, or potential. And so with this glow stick, when I put my hands as if this is your spine and your cervical spine where your atlas is, if it's not moving right and it's subluxated, I'm going to use my hands to gently adjust this area. And you may hear a little popping sound as gas is being released. And then I'll go ahead and I'll adjust the glow stick, and you hear that little pop. And instantly there's light that is released from this area. And as I'm doing that, instantly the face on the patient, they turn to little kids. They're like, ooh, it's like magic trick. And then I say, now I'm going to adjust or check the lower part and adjust your lower neck where the nerves go into your hands and arms. So if they're weak and they don't have power, I'm going to adjust there to restore the flow of power. And you get that little pop and the lights come on and they get a smile on their face. And then I tell them, now the power is on to their arms. And I might adjust where your heart is, where your stomach is, where your kidneys are, where your adrenal glands are, so you have more power. I'm going to check and adjust where your nerves go down into your legs, where you know you've got some sciatica. I'm going to adjust to restore the alignment and the function, correct your subluxation, restore the power flowing into your legs. And now you see this glow stick is now glowing in different areas, and it's starting to get its flexibility back. And they're like watching me really closely at this point. And I've already, the glow stick on one end, I have that little connector. And when I finish adjusting it, I say, so I want you to remember this if you don't remember anything else. The purpose of chiropractic is not to just get rid of pain, and it is not to crack and pop the spine. It is to make you glow, to make you shine, so that your gifts and purposes can glow and shine in the world, and you can be the best version of you in a body that no longer has any pain or restrictions. And when I do the adjustment, it makes you whole. And I take the glow stick and I ask them, hold out your wrist. They hold out their arm, and I put the glow stick and I connect it around the wrist. So now they've got this glowing thing on their wrist that represents my chiropractic care into their life. And I say, do you have any questions? And they're like, no. And now they're like putty in my hands. They're like, where are we going next? You know, so I've transformed the fear into freedom and energy and fun. And then I take them onto the adjusting table and I say, now, when I adjust you, if you hear anything that sounds like a popping sound, understand it's just a release of gas and fluids moving in the joint. But what do I want you to think when I adjust you? And they look at me and they say, light. And I said, exactly. When you hear the sound, you think light. I'm going to make you glow. And you tell me how your body responds when I see you on the next visit. Are you ready to go? Yes. Okay. Relax. Let's turn the power on. I do my adjustment. And that's how I start with my new patients. And they love it. And especially the little kids, they don't understand subluxation. Spines are kind of scary. But when you do glow sticks with them, they're just like, now you're on the same level and we're having fun together. And that's how I start the relationship and how I love into them in a non-traditional way.
I love all of that. Oh my God. I hope that all of our listeners listen to this at least twice to really pick up the nuances of what you've just said and shared. That is unbelievably beautiful and elegant, and explains it in such a beautiful way. And we're running low on time, so I've got to transition and ask you two final questions.
Sure.
My first question is, what is the best piece of advice that you would give to a doc who wants to be successful? The one single piece. What's the takeaway?
Find a good mentor that you resonate with, that speaks life to you. You cannot do this alone. So finding someone like you, Dr. Freeman, where you've invested your heart in the last year into this podcast series for the love of chiropractic, and constantly dripping the education into yourself to be inspired so that you can inspire your patients. That creates the flow. That's the first thing. Find a good mentor, a good coach.
Well, I want to thank you for that. And yes, I want everybody to find the right coach. I don't care if it's me or not. I just want docs to be more successful. But that's about me. My second point is, and as we close out, how would you define success, Dr. Seland?
Great question. To me, success is helping as many other people attain the life that they desire by using my gifts to unlock and release their gifts. And when you let that flow, that love for your patients, the gifts that you have flow into others, the universe sees that you are doing a positive thing, and it will give you everything that you need, and it will give you more opportunity to help other people, because this is how we grow together. This is how we grow healthy together. And in 2025, if you want to help people adjust and adapt to their world, heal from their problems, and start to grow as a person in a healthier way so that they can thrive in 2025, you will find more success and have more joy and have more resources flow into you, money being one of them. Money is just a byproduct of what you are doing in a positive way into the world. And I guarantee you, you will be a very happy chiropractor, unlike any other doctor that you'll meet, because you have the gift to make people more alive, and nobody else does that.
Wow. Trond, I want to thank you for spending the time this morning and doing this interview with me. And I know that there are docs around the world who have heard these words and are going to change more lives thanks to you.
Well, I'm here to help any way I can. And just like you, I love chiropractic and I love making a difference in the world. So here's to an awesome 2025. Thank you for the opportunity to hang out with you this morning for a little bit. And God bless all you young chiropractors. Go make a difference. And please use some of these ideas and have fun with the glow sticks. It's one of the most fun things that transforms chiropractic to bring more light into the world.
All right. And that's our show for today. If you have a question about today's show or your own practice, feel free to reach out at fortheloveofchiropractic.com. Before making changes to your practice, be sure to seek legal advice regarding those changes and regulations in your state. For the Love of Chiropractic is an RGF production, all rights reserved. And thanks for listening. Original music provided by Hunter Rich Music.